Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Gonzo Tonight Show. As you can see, or some of you can see if you're watching this on YouTube, we have the camera now. So we're going to be able to do the visuals and everything on the show. I'm very excited about it. I've always wanted to get the camera implemented into the podcast. I know some people listen via audio on the podcast app, whatever the case may be. I also know a lot of people that like to actually watch the podcast, like myself. I like to watch, Joe Rogan and Ben Shapiro sometimes if they have guests on. And obviously, this is going to help engagement, I hope. I personally think it's going to be pretty fun to have the camera implemented in here, especially with guests and stuff. And other than that, other announcements goes. There is also another surprise coming next week, I hope, that you'll be able to see in person. It may or may not be merchandise. We'll see. But if you want to maybe get a sneak peek, go to teespring.com/Gonzo tonight. That's TEE spring.com/Gonzo tonight. And you might be able to get a sneak peek there. Also, if you would like to support the page, go ahead and tune on over to buymeacoffee.com/Gonzo. You can support the podcast over there via donation. You can join our Gonzo Gold membership with full of a bunch of exclusive contents that only Gonzo Gold members can get, such as monthly. It's going to be a Discord video or a Discord call now. It was Zoom, but Discord is now implemented into buymycoffee.com. So we'll be able to do a monthly group call with myself, maybe some other regulars on the show, any of the gold members on there will be able to access that. We'll talk about politics, U.S., whatever's going on, current events wise. You can ask me any question you want about me, about the show, whatever the case may be. And there'll be other exclusive events that you can join as a Gonzo Gold member. There's plenty of other stuff that I'm going to be adding to that as we progress. I think I might need to change. I have a light here too. I feel like it's a little too white, maybe. My face looks a little white there. I don't care. First episode with the camera. Let's just get into it. I want to talk today about Joe Biden and his son, Hunter Biden, who have recently been in the spotlight for a scandal. Some say it's a scandal. Some say it's a smear campaign, as they say in the mainstream media and anyone else on the left. However, it is something important to note. I believe, many people believe, the people of America need to know what exactly is going on. And there has been more and more stuff coming out every day about the Hunter Biden scandal and if Joe Biden is linked to it in any way. Tons of stuff coming out. Basically, for those of you who don't know, the general overview of this is Hunter Biden has been in the spotlight because it seems as if he is somehow taking money from foreign entities, funneling it to himself and his family members, including Joe Biden. Of course, Joe Biden and the campaign deny this completely. They've been denying it for months now, ever since there was, hinting about it. And the biggest thing that I think started to catch the attention of a lot of people, the first thing was when people were figuring out that Joe Biden received a donation, let's call it, of $3.2 million, I want to say, from the the wife of the Russian governor, I want to say, governor in Russia somewhere. It's one of the high ups. I always forget which one it was, but he received over $3 million in donation, basically, from her. And we need to try and figure out what's going on with that. Another thing that happened recently is he took a personal laptop of his, dropped it off at the computer shop to get it fixed, and forgot about it. Literally forgot about it. It's just been sitting there, and the owner of the shop, looked into it, saw that, he said he told the media that he recognized Hunter when he walked in, but he didn't know who he was. Like, he was like, I know this guy from somewhere, and of course, Hunter Biden himself left his name, signature, all that, so it's him, and he's like, okay, that's kind of weird. And I guess the FBI has had this laptop for a while now. I want to say since 2018 they've had it. They've been, looking into investigating, finding all this stuff. Stuff gets released every day now to the public. Rudy Giuliani, President Trump's attorney and friend, has been releasing some stuff recently on mainstream media, doing interviews and stuff, particularly with Fox. And basically what the public is finding out is that the stuff President Trump was impeached for, conspiring with Ukraine or Russia or whatever they want to call it, this stuff was happening actually by Biden and Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, the Biden family. They're the ones that are actually doing this stuff. Bribery, taking money from foreign entities while in office, referring to Joe Biden, obviously, and putting his son, Hunter Biden, on the chair making him a chairman of a company out in Ukraine, and just like some of the stuff you can argue, okay, it's not maybe wrong, maybe it's morally wrong, but but we're starting to figure out that a lot of this stuff was happening while Joe Biden was vice president, maybe even earlier as a senator. I think that we'll figure out a lot of stuff this week before the election. And, of course, after, more stuff's going to come out. Whether he gets elected or not, I don't believe Joe Biden's going to get elected. But regardless, stuff's going to go down. So one of the biggest examples of sketchiness we've seen from Joe Biden himself was the one video that came out where he was in Ukraine, I believe, and he was basically saying, okay, we had a $1 billion loan that we were going to give out, and there was a specific prosecutor that he didn't like. He said, we need this guy fired. And I'll play the video here in a minute, or I'll play the clip here in a minute, the audio of it. And he says basically, you're not getting the $1 million if you don't fire this prosecutor. This is him as VP. And I'll go ahead and play the clip so you can hear it.
I guess the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv.
Right here. There you go.
And I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I'm not going to, or we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired.
He got fired. Clip comes out there, but he basically goes on to say they did what he wanted. You're not getting the $1 billion unless he goes bye-bye. And sure enough, he went bye-bye. And that was one of the bigger... That came out a while ago. I mean, that video, that clip. And that had been circling for a while. That probably began the suspicion that Joe Biden and even maybe the Obama administration was involved in some sketchiness when it comes from, taking money from foreign entities and whatnot. And referring more back to Hunter Biden specifically, before the last debate, literally an hour before that debate was supposed to start, an ex-business partner of Hunter Biden, Tony Bobulinski, came out and did a press conference of his own, basically clearing some things up about what's going on. he goes on and claims that he has turned over everything he has that would be considered evidence in regards to this situation over to the FBI. Pictures, screenshots, emails, texts, anything that he thought would be relevant, turned it over. He said this isn't, a political thing. He said, I haven't been a political guy. I've been very independent, very moderate. I'm not leaning one way or the other, but it is kind of weird to me to see that Joe Biden is lying about this stuff. And he gets into the fact that Joe Biden says he has no idea about his son's business dealings overseas. He doesn't want to hear about it. He never talks to him. He doesn't know what's going on. And Bobulinski says, it just doesn't sit right with me that he lies about this, because I was there at a meeting. Myself, Hunter Biden, and Joe Biden were out golfing and talking about business. The very business that Joe Biden denies he knows about. And the Biden campaign and Biden himself deny to this day that he knew anything about what was going on with Hunter Biden. Not just his business dealings, too, his personal issues. Obviously, he knew that he was struggling with crack cocaine. He admits to knowing that, and it gets pretty tricky. It gets pretty intense because there's new evidence coming out, pictures, screenshots, stuff of texts, alluding to the fact that, and actually, I would argue that it's not even alluding, it's just straight up, that Hunter Biden was committing sexual acts with minors. I mean, 15-year-old girls. Some allude to maybe his own niece. Not entirely sure. We're still waiting for more to come out. But these text messages, and you can try and find this stuff on the internet. I mean, it's taking down every day. I got some more audio clips I'm going to play for you that we had to get from the dark web, because literally on YouTube it would get shadow banned or just get deleted outright, because YouTube doesn't want you to see this stuff. Google, Facebook, Twitter, whatever the case may be. But back to the whole Hunter Biden thing, taking after his dad, I guess, he's a pedophile. The evidence shows that he's a pedophile. There's so much video evidence showing, I would argue it's proof that Joe Biden's a pedophile. Now we're finding out that his son, who's a crack addict, is also a pedophile and is committing sexual acts with minors, either via FaceTime or maybe even in person. The text messages show him communicating with his therapist, saying that this girl is accusing him of acting sexually. And all this stuff coming out. There's on the laptop, this is all taken from the laptop, pictures of him smoking crack, what it believes to be crack. And all the stuff that's coming out, it's like every day, it all is adding up. And the FBI is slowly releasing stuff. Again, like I said, Rudy Giuliani slowly leaking stuff to the public. And, I mean, Joe Biden, when it comes to the election, is riding his, he's on his high horse. He's a very moral guy. He claims he's, basically the good morals versus what he believes Trump, or what he claims Trump as the bad morals. And Trump's this terrible guy, this racist, this bigot. He does all these bad things. If he gets elected another 4 years, America is going to explode and turn into a billion pieces, and we won't be able to recognize this country. We're also going to talk about ACB getting confirmed. And Biden, this guy with high morals, he claims, has really been, multiple videos show, or audio, that he lobbied, or he approved of basically lobbyists. And he joked around saying, in 2008, he was saying, lobbyists and people that take their money, meaning, him as a senator or other political officials, they are bad people. Like, who wouldn't take the money, who wouldn't take a bribe here and there, basically, is what he's alluding to. He also, in his earlier years as a senator, there's a clip of him saying, I'm willing to prostitute myself to the lobbyists in order to get elected, is basically what he said. And it's basically all these videos and clips of him saying, that he's okay with taking money either from lobbyists or maybe from other places across the ocean there. And it's just all this stuff coming out. It's kind of like the whole 2016 thing with Hillary Clinton and the emails, and this idea that she and her constituents are above the law. Now we have Joe Biden, who can appoint his son to any position he wants and have his son funnel him money from overseas. And that, to a matter of fact, that his son is doing all this and Joe knows it. Not just the money stuff, but the fact that, he's a pedophile, the fact that he is addicted to crack, and he's not doing anything about it. He's not trying to help him. And I think that just goes to show Joe Biden's character. I mean, like I said earlier, I genuinely believe that Joe Biden is a pedophile and a creep. And that, even if he was to try and correct his son's behavior, it would be hypocritical of him. So it's a whole circle of bad stuff. And you gotta pick, Joe Biden has got to pick the lesser of two evils, what he wants to do in that situation. But it's like, the guy's so messed up in the head, too, with dementia. It's like, okay, not only is he a bad person, immoral person, but he can't even think straight half the time. He can't even speak fluent sentences half the time. You see his, during the debate or during his rallies with 4 people or whatever the case may be, the guy doesn't have a clue. He needs a teleprompter in an interview to answer basic questions. I mean, come on, man. But... And then let's see what else we got here. I also wanted to share some audio. This is the audio that we had to dig for because YouTube was, shadow banning it and just deleting it outright. This is Joe Biden right before the Trump administration was transferring into power, after Trump got elected and he's getting ready to come into the Oval Office and all that. Joe Biden is basically saying, he's talking to some of his people, and the clips shows that he was basically saying there's some stuff that we can't share with the Trump administration, because he's saying, usually we're about clarity and, with the transfer of power, we have to tell them what's going on and what we're dealing with and all this stuff. But here, let me play this video real quick for you. Or this audio clip, excuse me.
Part of the transition have to be cleared to do that, just as we had to be cleared after the Bush administration, etc. They have not done that. They're trying to catch up and do it now, since they fired the guy who headed up the transition just last week. The reason I bothered to tell you that is I have been somewhat limited on what I'm able to tell their team about Ukraine. The truth of the matter is, the incoming administration doesn't know a great deal about the situation.
And what people are believing he's referring to is the whole impeachment scandal that they put Trump through, that he was colluding with Ukraine and all this stuff. So it's like more shadiness, adding that to the pile there. Joe Biden admitting that there is stuff that they are not able to tell the Trump administration, and that there's stuff they can't tell them because he doesn't say why, but, they can't know. There's a lot of stuff going on here that they can't know. We need to make sure that we don't tell them that. And back to Hunter Biden, I'm just giving you a bunch of examples of sketchy stuff, self-incrimination, basically. Another audio clip here. Hunter Biden basically self-incriminating himself, alluding to... I'm just going to play this one, and then I'm going to talk about it after. It's crazy.
I get calls from my father to tell me that the New York Times is calling, but my old partner, Eric, who has done me harm for I don't know how long, is the one taking the calls because my father will not stop sending the calls to Eric. I have another New York Times reporter calling about my representation of literally, Dr. Patrick Koh, the fucking spy chief of China, who started the company that my partner, who was worth $323 billion, founded, and is now missing. The richest man in the world is missing, who was my partner. He was missing since I last saw him in his $58 million apartment and signed a $4 billion deal to build the fucking largest fucking LNG port in the world. And I am receiving calls from the Southern District of New York, from the U.S. Attorney himself. My best friend in business, Devin, has named me as a witness without telling me in a criminal case, and my father without telling me.
So basically, what he was saying there is one of his friends went to the Attorney General and said Hunter Biden and Joe Biden should be looked into on the disappearance of this guy, Eric. And basically saying, they're probably involved in his disappearance. Hunter and Joe. He said there, he painted me as a witness and my father. So all this stuff coming out, this just came out, I think, today or yesterday, and it's like, there's going to be a lot of stuff released, not just from the laptop alone. I mean, like, it's crazy. And I wanted to talk about a few more things. That's basically all I wanted to talk about in regards to Hunter Biden. There's a lot of sketchiness going on. I just wanted to kind of like give you an update on what was going on in regards to that. And then you, of course, can come up with your own conclusions. And hopefully in the next few days, by the time I talk to you guys next, there'll be some more crazy stuff coming out and clearing everything up. In other news, Justice Amy Coney Barrett was officially nominated, or confirmed, excuse me. She was officially confirmed on Monday, October 26th, to the Supreme Court, and Democrats are flipping out. It's insane watching these people scurry. I mean, there's the country is falling apart before our eyes, and women are losing their rights, and everyone's losing their rights, and this lady is Satan, and the republic is falling before us, right before our eyes, and the Republicans are trying to steal the Supreme Court because they want to be dictators and all this stuff. So much nonsense, and I'm surprised that the Supreme Court nomination hearings didn't get more coverage than they did. But again, I mean, this lady is so clean, sharp, so clean, that they didn't have anything on her. They were asking her dumb questions like this. So, like, God, you could ask these questions to an 8-year-old today and they would answer perfectly with flying colors. And this lady is is nominated for the Supreme Court, and you're asking her questions like, I mean, are you a racist? Let me think about that one. Like, are you a racist? Do you believe that women have rights? Yes or no? And the joke of a senator from Hawaii, Senator Harino, asking questions like, have you ever committed sexual assault or committed sexual favors, as she referred to it as, basically to get to a place where she wanted. Have you ever committed sexual acts to get, favors in return? Da, 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 da. And she's like, no. And I'm sitting there like, but you know who has? Senator Kamala Harris over there sucked dick to get to where she is today. And it's like the hypocrisy of these people. But anyway, she got confirmed. And Democrats are having, flipping out. It's like the country's on fire, which it is, but for different reasons. And, the Republicans are just like, look, come on, man. They're like, look, this is the constitutional duty of the president, and it's what we're supposed to do. There need to be 9 Supreme Court justices there at all times. And people, of course, argue, oh, we should wait till after the election. There should be a new president, and we'll let the people decide. And it's like, they argue based on feelings. They feel this should happen, and then of course Joe Biden. This has never happened in history during election year. No Supreme Court justice has been nominated during an election year. False. 28 times it has happened during election year, and it's like 10 of them were Republicans, and 9 out of 10 of those went through. The only reason that the one did not go through, the 1 out of 10, was because of plagiarism issues. He had to actually step down. But 28 times this has happened. Obama attempted it. The Republican Senate said no, sorry. But during the election year in 2016, when Obama there was no chance of him getting reelected. It was, either Hillary or Trump. So, he went ahead and nominated a Supreme Court justice, and that didn't work out, but that's too bad. And so it's all about feelings for the Democrats, for the left. I feel it should be this way, as opposed to facts and precedent and what is true. It's all, what I want, what I think is best. It's a mentality that's me first, kind of a me first mentality. And this is what I believe we should do, despite all the facts and everything that you can throw at them. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to them. And also, I'm not a big fan of big tech in regards to them censoring myself and a lot of other people, especially the bigger guys. And, I think technology and social media is a great way, especially I take advantage of it as best I can. I try to get my show out there and, market myself basically through social media. But there's a lot of instances now where Twitter, Facebook, and even Instagram are either shadow banning people or deleting posts, banning posts, labeling them as offensive. And it's like, here's an example. I tweeted something about abortion the other day. Excuse me. Tweeted something about abortion the other day. And someone commented, hashtag save the children. And then my buddy of mine sent me a screenshot of my tweet. It shows the tweet, and then under it says click to view other comments, other tweets, replies. These may be considered offensive. And then he clicks on it, and it's that comment that says hashtag save the children. And I'm like, why is that potentially offensive? Saving the children. Why is that offensive? And that's just a tiny example of stuff that's going on. There's whole accounts getting banned or shadow banned and all this stuff. But anyway, once again, Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of Facebook, is going to be asked to answer questions in the Senate, as well as Jack Dorsey, CEO of Twitter. They have both been subpoenaed to come appear before the Senate committee, and they're going to have to answer questions on what's going on. Why are certain people getting censored? Why is big tech censoring certain information? And what's going to get brought up is the Hunter Biden stuff that we talked about. The New York Post did a few articles on Hunter Biden and this stuff. And one article in particular got deleted from Twitter, and I believe from Facebook as well. And then shortly after, the New York Post Twitter page locked them out. They were locked out. They couldn't get back in for 4 or 5 days. And Twitter was like, listen, we'll give you access if you delete the article about Hunter Biden. Basically bribing them. But long story short, they got it back after almost a week. And just a bunch of crazy stuff going on. And I hope that it can all be sorted away. Especially by the time, the election's over. We can just get all this. Things will become more calm. We need a little drama. The show needs a little drama, of course, every now and then. But just everyone needs to calm down. We're all friends here, okay? No matter what side of the spectrum we're on, we're all friends here. But I just wanted to say thank you again for tuning into another episode of the Gonzo Tonight Show. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you can stay updated with when we upload new episodes. Follow us on social media at Gonzo Tonight and support the page at buymeacoffee.com/Gonzo. And look out for the merch that's coming soon. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks again.